Hello Les, this is my video diary 3 for project 2. I am in group 2 and my name is Luke Ratcliffe. I'm going to start with question 1 and I'm going to keep reading through to question 4. I now know that Brecht used distancing techniques as a way of showing his epic and unnaturalistic style of theatre. In my rehearsal process, I analysed some of these techniques and linked them to my character so I could get the best out of the performance. I picked out some of the techniques I liked and applied them. For example, one of the techniques I used was to break the fourth wall by looking at the audience with a shocked face after a particular heartbreaking moment. This was noticed by the audience and it made them laugh. This Brechtian technique is very useful to show the unnaturalism of his work, and I chose to apply it in that scene. I believe that I was quite shy during the rehearsal period and held back from contributing my ideas that we could add to the performance. Moving on to question 2. I worked well over the rehearsal period to discover how I could play my character. I tried different ways of playing the character, and through working with the director and receiving constructive criticism, I found a way that looked good and felt right to me. I broke down my script into sections and I analysed each line and located key places where I needed to emphasise a certain emotion and how I would do that with either my face or my body language. And I thought about how that would come across to the director, because I wanted the director to think that it looked good as well, and if they had any feedback off it, I was completely open to that. Another technique I used was hot seating to think about where the emotion of the character is coming from, and it helped me discover the roots of my character. I've always found hot seating really helpful for me. I think it helps me discover who I am and who I have to be. Obviously, I'm not the character, so I have to understand what they've gone through in their life to try and become them. So that is another really helpful technique for me. Moving on to question 3. I'm proud of the work that I put in and out of the classroom. My group were very prepared and we all knew what we were doing in terms of acting and singing. However, I feel as though I could have worked harder on the dance aspect, and as this is one that I feel as this is the one that I shy away from the most. But I know that I need to stop worrying about it. So, for F&P, I'm going to work hard and focus on the dancing. So, I feel like I kind of shied away from working on the dancing because I felt that if I did it and did it wrong, then I felt really scared about that, and it's just one that I've always been really kind of scared about trying to do well in case it goes wrong, and that's just me. I need to break that. I wish that I'd worked harder in my backstage role as production manager, and I wish I would have made sure people were on task and prepared like I was supposed to do. And I did do that, but I think I could have done that more. I could have put more effort into that. I felt like I kind of just let my role coast along with me, and I didn't really kind of focus on how I needed to use that role. Moving on to question 4. I would like to keep more on task in the rehearsal process so that things stay in my mind better. I would also like to make sure that I'm getting enough sleep so that I'm prepared for college days. By changing these things, I will be able to work harder and focus better, not just on rehearsals in college and at home, but when it gets closer to the actual performance. I think that making these changes will also help me to work better with other actors around me, and it will make me a nicer person to work with. So, I don't think that I was particularly not great to work with in during the rehearsal period and getting towards the performance. But I think that some days I might have not gotten enough sleep, and I might have been a bit cranky, or I might have kind of retaliated a bit to some feedback in a way that wasn't positive to another member of my group, or it wasn't positive to me. It didn't help me develop. It didn't help me improve. And I think that if I change those things, I think that'll bring out a better performance from me when we get further in the rehearsal period. I also think that if I'm rehearsing more outside of college, and trying to fine tune the things that I'm struggling with, then that will make going into the rehearsal period inside college a lot easier, because I will have already have worked on a lot of the things. So it will save time. The director might not have to say, "Oh, can you focus on this? Can you look at this? Could you possibly research this?" Which the director did an incredible job of kind of telling me what I needed to do or to work on, or it wasn't said in a not constructive way. It was said incredibly nicely and well, and it only made me think positives of how I have this piece here, I have this character. How can I now add to that and develop that and make that become something that people are going to enjoy watching? And I think during the rehearsal period, I almost wanted that kind of feedback, so then I could go, okay, this is what I need to do. I'm going to work on that. And I think what I've noticed is, and because I don't do that with my dancing, I think that's why it doesn't look as good. When someone says something about my dancing, I'm like, oh God, that was really bad. I just can't do it. But with my act, because I feel strong with my acting, and whilst I've been performing in my life, I feel like acting has always been my strongest. So when I get feedback on that, I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do to fix that, because I think that I'm able to take that piece of criticism, constructive criticism, and turn that into something good. I can add technique to that, and I can make that good. So yeah, I think that my mindset during the process was a little bit negative, in terms of the dance aspect. So I would like to change that going into FNP. I would also like to, I think that when I'm acting, I'm very worried about what other people think. And as you say, I think that sometimes people hold a bit of tension, and I can definitely feel that. When you say that, I can feel it. And yeah, I'd like to change that. I'd like to kind of release that if possible, and so that I can kind of release my potential, because I feel like I've not reached, I feel like I'm 85% there, and that I need to improve. So I would like to change that going into FNP. Thank you.